we could hold off. We could see the same bans. They could just try and play around this kind of a comp, or we'll see how they kind of split things up on their end. Against like that Malphite, I would kind of hope to see a double AP as opposed to a standard bruiser top.
Yeah.
A lot of times when you have a Malphite, you want to go with the double AP.
There it is.
Oh,
There is the
mind. So the
Malphite
ban.
ban. Do not want to really don't want to have to deal with that. So not to say Riven, all things considered, actually did really well.
Yeah.
She did really well top lane, but that's the thing. Like when with the rest of the team, she's expected to be there, being a pretty amazing presence in fights. But there's just too much to deal with. You have the slow from Kelly, the attack speed slow from Malphite, just shut her down. So unfortunately hard, but it's that's why there's the ban. That's why we have bans.
Yeah, one interesting thing right now is for that Malphite ban, we actually had to take out the Karthus ban, and Akalord is very well known for his Karthus. If I'm correct here, I might not be, but I believe he's really well known for his Karthus.
Yeah,
so
Karthus has escaped the bans this time around.
We'll see whether or not Megashock, intends to pick it up, or if WinFakt will get it, and then maybe we see a counter pick to Karthus mid.
Yeah.
Ari is not there, but there are still a couple of champions that do very well.
We've been seeing the Kassadin.
Kog'Maw does well. Kassadin, yeah.
The Kassadin versus the Karthus has actually been quite popular lately too. We've been seeing it in quite a few of our other matches as well. And it's not outside the realm of possibility, but there is the Nocturne going to go ahead and try and take that away from WinFakt. But also keep in mind, Ashe is open, TF is open. There's some options for Megashock here.
Yeah, and the nice thing with the Nocturne is, he's just an all-around strong champion right now. But if we do have someone like Karthus in that mid lane who's very vulnerable to ganks, hey, you've got Nocturne to follow up on it. So not that big of a deal. Couple Nocturne with an aggressive mid lane, and you can shut down anyone. So they don't really have to worry about banning someone like Karthus because they have that flexibility now. We'll see how WinFakt kind of responds. We could see that Malphite pick again, or well, no, we couldn't because it was banned. We could see a Soraka pick right here would be very nice for them. Soraka just goes with basically every team comp. If they wanted to grab Corki as well, Corki's just an all-around strong champion.
Yep. And it's I'm just trying to think of the synergies that Megashock could possibly come up with. But there's still options. May also see WinFakt just straight out take their bot lane. Soraka's open. Graves is open. They may just want to try and take the Ashe away from Megashock here, but there is the Karthus. So could it's risky. It is risky.
You could see a Karthus Soraka right now, and like I was saying, Soraka would be a really common pick right now. It's just all around strong. So there you go. So
nice call.
It's against the Nocturne, which is it's a common matchup. So Nocturne is going to be looking to be really aggressive, and change ganks in his favor, but now all of a sudden you have Karthus and Soraka with their globals, so it becomes like a 4v2 if you have a Nocturne gank up top. Right. So, it's a really nice switcheroo there, but picking up the Alistar as well, I was kind of thinking that maybe WinFakt might want to pick up Alistar in the jungle, but having that Alistar and Corki is going to be a really aggressive bottom lane. They have so much burst damage. WinFakt is going to want to pick probably a Graves here to work against it, but they will have to worry about how much damage output and range Corki has.
Jax, Darius, there's a lot of options. I'm also trying to remember. There was a match where someone played Nocturne top. I can't quite remember where it was.
SK Kevin, he's played Nocturne top a couple of times. I can think of a couple of guys. He's the one that jumps into my mind, and we could see that. Alistar is really aggressive with his ganks as well, but I suspect that'll probably be an Alistar support.
Yeah, more than likely. Alistar with Corki, and that can be incredibly deadly with all the damage that Corki's capable of putting out there. But there is the Kog'Maw.
So this is a comp that we haven't seen in a while, actually.
Ooh.
It's the triple hyper carry comp. The idea is just, late game.
Someone will get fed.
Yeah, someone's fed and no one can beat you. So you have 3 different people to watch out for. Kog'Maw, late game, if you get Kog into that late game, is going to be such, a mess to deal with. So you're going to want to engage. Nocturne wants to jump onto Kog'Maw. Well, now he's going to be right in the middle of Karthus's AoE. And then if you're dealing with Kog'Maw, you also have to deal with Jax. So a really nice comp we haven't seen in a while. And one of the concerns for them is going to be the aggression from Megashock. If Megashock can get any quick kills, particularly in that bottom lane. But having the Ashe, or having the Soraka with the Kog, they have enough range where they should be able to range farm okay.
And there is the Kassadin pick to go ahead and counter out the Karthus in mid. So basically, how do you shut down this hyper carry comp? Like just besides you just win all the lanes?
Early. Yeah, you take early advantages. Their lanes are generally pretty safe. Bot lane, the advantage should be from Megashock, but once Kog'Maw gets level 5, then level 6, really, Kog'Maw easily outranges Corki, so that will be to their advantage. It's actually interesting, though, when Kog doesn't have the W active, Kog'Maw's range is actually 500 range, and Corki's range is 550, so Corki has damage output and has the range advantage, except when Kog'Maw has his acid reflux disease. I don't what his W, whatever it is.
Oh, no, that one.
Active. So.
Oh yeah, the I had a really bad night.
Yeah, whatever it is, but I mean, they should be pretty safe. But if Alistar can get onto Soraka, they have enough follow-up damage to easily pick up kills there, and that's a serious concern for them. Karthus is also very vulnerable in the mid lane. They have Kassadin to try and get fed early on. If they can take these early advantages, then the triple hyper carry, it doesn't even get into late game. But the main goal for them is to just farm, drag out the game as long as possible. Karthus can stall very easily. I mean, it's going to be difficult for Megashock to push on the Karthus and Kog'Maw because they're constantly going to be clearing out waves. So as long as they can play defensively and farm late game, they're going to be okay.
Yep. So the last pick for WinFakt will actually be the Lee Sin in the jungle. So it's basically there's a nice challenge here from the junglers. Like I bet I can play the jungler you played last better than you. And it's not all too uncommon to see sometimes. You just want to go ahead and try and take away certain champs from certain players. But as I've mentioned this before too. Is I believe the M5 matches not too long ago. Lee Sin and Jax is a pretty deadly combo in their own. There's a lot of CC there. You got the slows, you have the stuns, you have the displacement. There's a lot can go on in there. That's a pretty beefy frontline combo, especially with the Soraka in tow.
Yeah, and I remember when I had, first kind of talked about that in that match. It's the Lee Sin. You have to shield onto Jax very easily. They can actually duel 2v1 Baron. The engage onto range carries is really devastating. You have Jax with his dodge. You have Lee Sin come in, shield onto Jax with the attack speed slow. Can be really disruptive in fights. So it is a really nice matchup. The big concern for them is going to be how they can shut down the lanes. And top lane is actually going to be pretty safe for Jax, though they will have to watch out for Aurelia from Megashock, because Aurelia has become more of a dueler. She has the slow and she has the stun. So couple that with Nocturne, they will have close to enough killing potential. But I think Jax should be okay with his dodge, with his stun.
Yeah.
He can just get out of there when Aurelia tries to engage. And so really, for the most part, I don't know. We'll see whether or not Nocturne spends his time top, or maybe tries to focus on some of the other lanes. Or what he'll probably end up doing is just farm for a while until he gets 6, and maybe tries to pick up some kills with Kassadin on Karthus.
Yeah, Karthus just has a huge target on his back right now, because he has the global presence, and we mentioned this before. I'll mention again. He's not that mobile of a guy, and even then, look at going exhaust flash. No ignite in mid. Just want to go ahead and just make sure that whoever's going to be within his grasp, they're going to go ahead and be slowed, which will be actually pretty helpful later on in team fights. You catch someone in the AOE, just the long walk to try and run out of it, and it's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt real bad. But denying Karthus pretty often could actually work to Megashock's benefit.
I mean, yeah, clearly.
Yeah, clearly. Yeah.
If you're ever going to deny a late game carry kind of champion, then that's
Karthus is the one.
But I mean, they have a really nice built team to work against them. And Nocturne, he can take early dragon very easily. Karthus and Lee Sin, that's also a lot of dragon potential. So they can kill it very quickly. The concern is that their team fight potential isn't there. So WinFakt early in the game, they can't really pressure objectives like dragon. Because Megashock just has such a stronger, team fight team early on. So we'll have to watch out for that. If we see Nocturne going into the top lane, then yes, WinFakt will want to transition over to the Dragon, pick up advantages there, pick up the early gold lead. But I don't know, we'll have to see. A lot of it's going to come down to Kassadin. One of the big things for shutting down Kassadin is having blue buff control. But I would say, generally speaking, that Megashock with Nocturne, with Aurelia, they should be generally pretty safe. So they're on the blue side. It won't be kind of tied with the Dragon. They should be able to pick up the Kassadin blue fairly easily. And then it's going to come down to how successfully he can farm. And I don't know, as long as he avoids the lay waste from Karthus, he really should be pretty safe in that lane. Should be able to farm, just free farm, basically.
Yeah. And even if he does get hit out errantly once or twice, he's got his passive, his extra magic resist, should be fine. Also thinking about Kog'Maw later on, because Kog'Maw late can just be also an absolute beast. There's all the poke, there's everything you need. Quick, go for the extra movements. Movement speed always a good thing too. Just go ahead, have a little bit of an edge. Just go ahead and get away from whatever
And
lay waste may be on the ground.
they are very common runes and masteries. The reason I was curious, I just wanted to take a look at the runes and masteries real quick, is because we had seen Ocelot play Kassadin recently.
That's right,
and
we
run
did.
really heavy regen and
Health regen.
Health regen, and it's a very different matchup versus Cassiopeia versus Karthus. So in this kind of a situation, he doesn't really need the health regen. He's primarily going to be pretty safe. So going with all-out aggression, he doesn't go with the utility masteries, which would be really nice on a champion like Kassadin, but he will have a lot of burst damage, and he will have some nice innate tankiness as well.
All right, loading on up into the game. If WinFakt is actually able to take this one, they will be moving on to grand finals, and they give a pretty good shot. Just need to win one more set, and they will be coming on over for IPL5. But still gonna have to wait to see what happens on the other end of the bracket. Very possible M5 can go ahead and make it to grand finals as well. Still got so it was a Fnatic alternate to play as well, I believe.
Yeah, we do. Fnatic alternate in the round of 8, and then the winner of that will play against Moscow 5. So a couple of really exciting matches. And alternate, they have been looking very strong recently. They haven't really been challenged to such a significant degree during this bracket so far, but we'll see. Fnatic is looking incredible now that they've switched in So he's really worked very well with their team.
All right, so Jax Aurelia should be okay. Corki though, and Corki was a bit of a problem for Megashock game 1 as well. But I mean, they got him this time. Should be able to try and counteract the aggression with more aggression. You also have the Alistar with you as well. So, and Alistar just on his own, he's a very versatile champ in his own, looking to be aggressive. You have the heals on you as well. And you could also see an invade from Megashock here pretty early as well, because if you want someone for an invade, Alistar's number one. Alistar is king. You have the polarize, you have the AoE pop-up. Could do work here, but I don't think they're going to be going for it, because Corki is just way down here looking for the point defense.
Well, he actually went off. He didn't start off with boots, so usually if you're going to want to invade, then you'll start off with the boots. So he will be sitting back for the most part. They are kind of just branching out to try and get some vision. And WinFakt might actually engage on this blue buff. So we'll see whether or not they transition over to the river bush. If they do, then it means that they're really looking for an engage. If not, then it could mean that they're just sitting there trying to defend against their red. And that seems likely what they're doing right now. It's just defending against the red, not allowing Alistar to get an engage. But no, they're actually going to go for it, going to set themselves up in this brush, and then they can come down. El Muppo might get caught.
Him. It's time to run. It is time to run away. Very much so. WinFakt is not going to do a whole lot about it, though. They're just going to go ahead. More to get down with just backing. I think they just want to get some fear. They just want to get some fear into Megashock.
They really don't have a very strong level 1.
Yeah.
Like it's
Plus
working as a level 1. It would really just be a gambit to catch the enemy by surprise, and maybe pick someone off at blue. But in the meantime, Corki and Alistar are going to be able to pick up these mini golems here, so that'll be a really nice advantage for them. It's very common, and because they have the kill lane, that is huge. And WinFakt, they weren't able to stop it. They weren't able to get wolves themselves, which is actually a really common thing since Lee Sin starts off at red a lot of times.
Yeah.
If Kog and Soraka went up and took wolves, they would have at least been kind of even in experience, but they will have to watch out for that fast level 2 from Corki Alistar.
Yep, and they've Corki Alistar, they're there. Did grab the small golem, should be back in time for Nocturne to go ahead and take those if he so desires. But then with minimal damage. At that, sometimes you see a lot of champs, a lot of bot lanes try and grab those golems. They get pretty hurt in the process, but Megashock's looking pretty healthy after that. So you have the pulverize from Alistar, keeps him occupied just for enough. And Corki's got quite a bit of damage in his own as well. But there you go, the Tess. He's got red buff, looking to be aggressive onto El Muppo here, top lane. Just waiting for the engagement from Jax, waiting for the right timing. But it's gonna be rough. It's gonna be difficult now. Just to try and get in behind.
Oh, and he's actually engaging. There's the stun from Jax.
There's the stun from Jax, the slow from Lee Sin. The wave will not connect, but burn the flash. Good enough.
Yeah, and we saw in that bottom lane the quick aggression, almost taking down Kog. He did have to back out of there, but didn't have to use any summoners. He does have the regen from Soraka, so he will be pretty safe there. And the nice thing with that Lee Sin aggression early on, not only did we burn the flash from Aurelia, but it also puts Aurelia on edge. So maybe when Nocturne comes up, we don't have to worry so much about the kill. And Lee Sin, focusing on this top lane, doesn't want Godbro to fall behind, and Nocturne is actually coming up to engage. Goats coming in, will be able to get this fear, but then he has the follow-up from Lee Sin, so he definitely has to watch out for that. There's the stun, and then the shield as well, but Goats is coming in there pretty strong, and Godbro almost going down, but is able to back off. So the test with a nice job getting him out of there.
Yeah, you saw Goats like waiting on the shield, almost had the timing down. It was like the pop of the shield was like the cue for Godbro to go ahead and actually start the stun, because now it takes a little bit of time to wind up, and there was just enough time for the shield to actually expire for Godbro to actually go ahead and get that stun off. So good call, but actually looking backwards, actually wandering away from lane. I guess thinking, imagining that Goats actually just did not pull back and was still around, but their Fireman actually getting quite a bit of damage from Corki and Alistar there, and he's being forced back. He's being pushed to tower, and Megashock, they're really looking to push their aggression. They want to try and just force him to the tower at this point, because if you have the aggression, you have Alistar, you might as well.
Yeah, and right now, a big concern for Aqualord is the fact that naturally, Karthus is going to tend to push his lane, and against Kassadin, if he's vulnerable, if he's sitting at Kassadin's tower, we have the Nocturne engage, we have Kassadin, there's just a lot of chasing room, so Karthus will be kind of vulnerable there. We do see he should be able to pick up this blue. Actually, Lee Sin, it seems, is probably going to just hold on to it. Yeah, he will.
Yeah,
so,
he needs XP.
Yeah, that's just a common thing sometimes. You'll just, as the jungler, you can hold on to it for the XP. It will speed up his jungle a little bit as well, having that cooldown reduction, and
Goats.
actually sitting there catching Goats out. So, he has a nice awareness of where anyone is at any given point in time.
Yeah, Goats is looking for the invade, but does not know. Now he's got vision and test and realizes, oh crap, I'm in trouble. He's got a long way to go before he gets to safety, but Karthus is not acting on this. Aqualord kind of took the long way around to go and try and intercept, but will not be getting the wall of pain, will not be getting anything on that.
They really don't have a lot of kill potential on Nocturne right now. For the most part, they just want to be defensive, and so keeping an eye on him, it allows them to sit back, farm safely.
Yeah.
Another thing with keeping that blue is if Karthus is vulnerable to going down in about a level, they don't have to worry about losing it so badly. But we'll see. Karthus should be able to farm okay against Kassadin. The concern is when ganks come in, and once Kassadin hits that 6 in particular.
So Tess is looking to farm. Goats kind of looking to farm as well. It looks like he's wandering up around top lane once again, but Godbro will not be there just quite yet. Kautar's actually doing a pretty good job pushing, trying to shove his weight around Aqualord. But the creeps do tell a little bit of a different, the creeps reflect that. Kautar's got about 10 creeps up onto Karthus. Looking to get some free aggression, looking to get some silences, but getting a little bit too far out.
On the
He's not 6. Kassadin,
he should be okay
there,
there, knows the level.
Now he's got his
level. In the
level.
meantime, Godbro is very close to going down top lane. They've been diving him. He is able to get out of there, so really nice disengage. His flash was already down, so they maybe could have dove him, but he was okay there. Yeah,
Goats is now a little bit behind Tess at this point, because we got all these attempts, but Tess has actually got a pretty good pattern to just go ahead, attempt a gank, go farm, attempt farm. Goats has been he's been backing, full backing quite a bit. So in all that time wasted going back into the jungle, that's time that could have been spent farming up. So now you have the Tess with a good level lead onto Goats.
Yeah, we'll have to see how this kind of, I don't know, how Aqualord continues to do as the game progresses, because we're starting to see that aggression from Kassadin, and he will have plenty of mana to just constantly harass down Aqualord. He'll probably want to go with a Catalyst build into like a Rod of Ages, so he needs that regen. So once he goes back, he should be able to buy that. But regardless, he's being pushed under his tower. He's having a little bit of difficulty farming just because he has to constantly be aware of all that burst damage. And Nocturne actually warding very close to coming in here, but he's only level 5 now. Once he hits level 6, we could see the engage.
So it's about 7:30, so all those initial buffs are starting to come back up, and there is the ult being popped from El Mepo trying to finish off Godbro, but there's the Karthus ult. You may have gotten the kill, but you are not getting away from that LOIC there that Karthus has got for him.
Yeah, and he was actually back in base, which is why he was able to do it safely.
Yeah.
That's one of the nice things about Kassadin is you can very easily just rift walk in, throw off a silence, cancel out that ultimate. But because he was back in base, he was safe to do it. But as a result, Kassadin knows, okay, let me just pressure this into the tower. He denied a full wave, including the cannon minion from Karthus. So Karthus again falling further and further behind Kassadin. And now with that blue buff, Kassadin has enough spam where he can be really aggressive. We do see that catalyst onto Karthus. That'll give him some nice regen, but Kassadin's perfectly safe here. Even with the Lee Sin gank, there's not a whole lot that can happen because he can just rift walk out of there.
Right. And remember, the Lee Sin also took their own blue pretty damn late, so
Yeah.
it's going to be a good like 2 minutes before he can even consider giving Karthus the blue also. So there's time, and there's the pulverize going down from Steve, trying to flush out the Soraka, but there's Firemane looking to stick it out, may actually get the kill onto the Corki in flash in response. Extra range, nice juke from the Living Artillery. Firemane will not be able to capitalize on that kill, but still, missiles going down from Corki. This is risky, but he's chugging the potion as much as he can, trying to stay alive. One errant shot, one errant ult could mean his doom, and there's the pulverize. Waiting for the headbutt Valkyrie, and nice damage, but he's in a little bit of trouble. Can Corki live? Yes, just barely, but there's Lee Sin with the wave trying to finish up the damage, and there's the darkness coming from Nocturne. The kick will be enough to take down the Corki, but will Lee Sin be able to get out of this one? There's the pulverize, and the headbutt into the wall. He's trapped, yes! Nice kill.
Really nice play there from Steve the entire time. He did a quick little step in front of Corki to block the Q, so Lee Sin actually had to flash to pick up the kill, and then, with the headbutt into the wall. I don't know, I was about to say, the previous fight, it was kind of interesting. Corki and Alistar, they jumped onto Soraka, and a lot of times it's easier to kill the support, and you can, pick up a kill there, but it's safer to pick up, to attack the carry, because if you're not attacking the carry and you're attacking the support, the carry is just going to wreck you. We saw that there, Cog almost turning it around, almost picking up the Corki, but then, really nice play coming in once again with Corki, pick up the kill, and then almost surviving from Lee Sin, but even so, it was to Megashock's advantage, and they have a really nice gold advantage right now, and that's what they want. They want to get early kills, they want to get an early lead, and then be able to roam around. They have the mobility of both Nocturne and Kassadin, where they can, force fights all over the map and try and just pick up all these fights. So we'll probably see a lot of like 4v2s, 4v3s coming in Megashock's advantage shortly.
Yep. And the tests right now, top lane, Jax isn't doing too hot against Roy. I mean, he's about 10 creeps down. He's constantly being pushed to tower. But that's that's one of the big problems with the Roy too. She has so much sustain. You have the ult. You have the innate stuns as well. She can be rough to gank at times. Just almost as equally as much as Jax. So I think the tests, he's looking to focus a little bit more onto mid, a little bit onto bot for those counter ganks to make sure that his presence is there, and that helped. That definitely helped in that last fight. But now he's a little bit of a he's a little bit. I don't know. He's got some options.
But Jax chasing down El Mupo, and he does have the ignite. The ult from Karthus won't be enough. He's only level 9, so the level 6 ultimate really is almost insignificant.
But here comes
it gives you a little bit.
Kassadin looking to get some help. He does have the rift walk. There's the nice stun from Aurelia and the wave from Kassadin. Will he be able to finish it off? There goes the ignite. The ignite does not. The ignite.
It does.
Well, the dodge does not dodge fire, unfortunately.
Yeah.
It's worth a shot. I don't know. But there you go, the quick kill top lane onto Godbro. So extending the lead on to Aurelia, doing some good work, and nice notion on counter to actually start wandering up to go ahead and help with that kill.
And the mobility they have at this point, they can start to bully around WinFakt, and the key is for WinFakt to get into that farm. Kog'Maw did start off with the double Doran.
Oh, he doesn't know. He doesn't know. There is a ward in that bush, and now he got the vision of goats. Gets the wave. Nice clutch shield. Good Nocturne shields all around, actually.
And one of the concerns for WinFakt is getting Kog'Maw into that farm. A lot of times you can go with like a quick Zeal for Kog'Maw because you have enough damage from your W. But we'll see. We do have Nocturne in this bottom lane. He could just ult, and there's actually Steve should be able to get the headbutt. There's actually the flash,
the silence.
but we will see the pulverize, and then the engage on the Soraka goes down almost immediately. And then actually diving onto Kog'Maw, we have the red buff from Goats, but he's actually very close to going down. Does die, but they do pick up the fire main. And then Steve, with the ultimate, is able to block that damage. It is true damage, though, so the ultimate doesn't block Cog, but it does help him a little bit against that tower.
Ball of Pain. Cowtard actually does get caught up in it, but still, the damage is semi-minimal, but there we go. We got the Tess looking to help recover down in the bot lane, but Alistar is already backed. Corki,
He's just going to be taking some of that farm, though, before it hits the turret. No one else was going to use it, so he might as well. And one concern, for them is the fact that, all right, Kog'Maw needs farm. Kog'Maw actually going with a pickaxe right now, so it doesn't have enough for, any more items. Corki, on the other hand, is building a fast Triforce, and that it is a really common build on Corki. You'll see it sometimes, but one of the nice things with the Triforce versus a standard item, a lot of times now we're seeing Corkis go with like Infinity Edge, or in the case of Cutie Pie, a Black Cleaver. Going with the Triforce, it allows you to be so aggressive early on, and that's what they want. Megashock already is looking to be incredibly aggressive early in this game. Having the Sheen burst, having the slow from Phage once he finishes it, is going to be absolutely devastating.
Yep. So Corki's about 2,000 gold away from just having the Triforce outright, but there's still a lot of time. He's got the Sheen. There's a lot of burst damage coming out from that as well, and Firemane is on the brunt end of that. The Soraka heal can actually only do so much, and there is the Wish too, flashing. He wants the kill and will get it again, but may not escape. Karthus ult does come down, so just even exchanges there. Accolord, he was in mid, he ulted in mid, and yet Cowtard was not able to do a whole lot about that, trying to capitalize, because Lee Sin is here to help out with the gank. Cowtard's a little bit too far out, but he's got the blue buff. He has the mana. He can rip walk away with nice juke, trying to get some extra damage down onto Accolord. But he's just poking in and out, weaving in and out, trying to get that damage in. In the meantime, El Muppo is trying to make something happen here on Godbro, still continuing to push him into tower.
Yeah, and I was a little bit surprised that Firemane, he was sitting in the bush. He recognized...
Oh, Cowtard, will he be able to get it? No! The shield, there you go. Cowtard does actually get the kill, but will he be able to get out of there? No. Tess now, with that double buff, taking the blue away from Kassadin.
Yeah, so a nice little exchange there. They actually come out on top of that. Nocturne, we could see a dive top, but you really don't usually want to dive Jack.
No.
So
there's pressuring.
We'll see whether or not they do that. But it was kind of interesting. I was surprised that Firemane was sitting in the bush, recognizing that Alistar was there. We saw the quick engage. He did go down pretty quickly, but Corki did die as well, so they were safe. And they are in position.
Nice.
There's the slow. They are going to try and dive this. The dodge goes off, though, and now we see Goats is tanking a lot of this tower. We do have the ultimate going off, but El Mupo should be able to pick this up. The ult back in from Goats, and they do a nice job alternating tanking there. And now actually the shield from Lee Sin. He will get the Q onto Corki, and so Corki taking a lot of damage, but will be able to get out of there. Firemane still in pursuit, but we don't get the slow. And there's Alistar there to back things off, and Lee Sin actually goes down. Oh,
wow.
One more attack.
They could have done it.
Almost getting the combo onto Corki, but not quite able to pull it off.
And that was, if you look back, the jukes from coming in from Etnex, just like every time the artillery was coming out, just sharp, like quick, like 90-degree. Like quick turn, just to avoid, just to get that nice little area for your artillery to land with no one to hit it. Wonderful, wonderful micro coming in from Etnex there is fantastic work. And Cowtard is just still looking to get incredibly aggressive on the Karthus in the mid. He has the Rod of Ages, he's got it full up, got no Magic Mantle as well, might just be looking to buy a straight up buy the Merc Treads, and he could reduce the silence, it'll do work. And Kassadin, in the meantime, he also has his Rod of Ages built up full, getting the Sork shoes, looking for the extra magic damage, looking for the extra spell pen. So it's they both got the Rod of Ages. They're looking for similar builds, but we may see Karthus actually start to go defensive a little bit.
Well, that is why he's probably going to be going for these Merc Treads. Doesn't want to go down too quickly in fights, but the AoE will be nice. We do have Nocturne, though, coming up on the Jax once again, and we'll see if they dive this. We have Mupo coming in, but actually the dodge goes off a little bit too soon. He does get the stun onto Jax, but there's the fear as well. If they try and get this, they will back off, though. Yeah. So now Karthus, he does have the blue. He can farm a little bit more easily, but they are actually going to go for this. And that was the concern. The Karthus and Lee Sin, how fast they can clear Dragon now that they know Nocturne is up top.
Steve and Cowtard trying to make something happen here, but they will not be able to do a whole lot about it. But Corki there, not too far away, trying to get some extra burst damage. Ult has been popped by the Cow, trying to get some free damage. And Firemane, he's just ignoring the Corki, taking all that damage the entire time, just trying to get a slice of beef from the Cow, and there, Soraka will also go down as well, but the Karthus ult will be able to pick up a double kill onto Alistar and onto Kassadin. Now Corki needs to get away from this fight.
But in the meantime, Aurelia going to be able to take down this top tower.
Yep.
she should be able to pick it up pretty easily. But it was, I don't know, a pretty nice job by WinFakt. They were able to pick up the Dragon. It looked like Megashock was going to be able to win that fight by just poking him down with the Corki. And that's one of the nice things of the Corki and Kassadin matchup is you can poke them down, wear them down, and then Kassadin, jumps in for the kills. So, Megashock was almost able to pick that up, but Jax coming down was able to turn it around for them. So they are, at a slight gold advantage. But even so, with that tower going down top, and then the second one almost going down, that actually works out to Megashock's benefit.
Yeah, and it's even then, if El Muppo did perchance take out the second top tower, the gold wise, it would have been dead even. But still, they still have a pretty healthy lead. They're still up on kills. They also have the only tower down, the one being in top lane, so they're still in a really good spot. So right now, Kotar still getting trying to get some free harass down there onto the Tessin mid, and is that a double buff onto? That is a double buff onto Karthus, courtesy of those kills earlier. So that's gonna be that is a bit of a threat. He's got that potential. He's got that.
It's a threat that Kassadin takes it from him. Is the threat.
Kotar is still being ridiculously aggressive here, still looking to continually push into tower, try and deny as much farm as possible. There's the headbutt once again, pulverized. Nocturne is there to fall, but once again onto Fire Main, and Kog'Maw just does not stand a chance against any of this.
And
wow.
again, it's questionable for positioning from Fire Main. It's almost like he wants them to engage, like he's trying to bait them in.
Yeah,
because he knows, all right, where he's standing, he's going to get pinned against the wall. Alistar comes in with the headbutt, is able to pick up that up pretty easily. We do have Karthus bottom if we dive onto Soraka, and they're actually very close to doing it, but they should be okay. Lee Sin comes in there, the Valkyrie, no big deal. They can back out of there fine.
Yep. And you notice too, the Trinity Force has been built on the Corki, so it's a lot more burst, it's a lot more damage coming in from him, and it was partially a reason they can go ahead and get away with those aggressive kills onto Fire Main, because the damage potential is absolutely there in spades. Plus you got Nocturne to go ahead and help out too. That's never a bad thing. It's never a bad thing. So about getting close to hitting the 20-minute mark. There's a good 6K lead for Megashock here, and we mentioned before at Champ Select, WinFakt, they're looking for that hyper carry, just 4-man aggressive gank on to Akalor. There's not a whole lot to be done for that.
And
wow.
Kotar the entire time tanking the tower for his team, just sitting around the outside. So he knows, all right, if I need to, I can get out of here very easily, but I'm going to allow my team to easily pick up this kill. We do see Lee Sin here. He should be able to get out of there. We have the slow, and then actually the engage back onto Aurelia. There's the ignite, so we might go for this.
No.
Actually, I think he was kind of expecting Kotar to come in on, for that kill, but they're able to pick up the tower very easily. They're very safe. Corki should be able to pick up the bot tower in the meantime.
Yep.
So a nice couple of tower advantages, and Alistar, he has the oracles. He can run around, pick up those wards so they can continue to be as aggressive as they want to.
So we talked a little bit about Champ Select, about this whole hyper carry comp. So Karthus, he's not doing too bad in comparison to Kassadin. Well, Kassadin is a kill up and 30 creeps up, and also forcing to buy the Merc Treads, forcing to build defensively. Jax lost top pretty ridiculously. There's the test going in with the wave, looking to get the extra slow. Kotar should be able to get away from this one, but the kick backwards, El Muppo is in a pretty bad spot. WinFakt is trying to capitalize as much as they can. El Muppo is ignited, trying to get away, but now Goats is a little bit caught out. Godbro will get the kill onto that one. Goes nice shield, will go ahead and prevent the slow coming on in. WinFakt trying to peel off a quick one there. So, still though, all these hyper carries on WinFakt are pretty far behind their lane counterparts.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. We mentioned this before. How you lose with this comp is that you lose all the lanes, and it's certainly looking like that is the case.
Yeah, it's definitely the case. It's 100% the case. And, that's definitely a concern for them. Kassadin almost done with the Rabadons as well. We'll have so much burst damage in fights, and just the fact that Kassadin could come into the backline and just insta kill either Karthus or Kog'Maw to an extent is a serious issue for them. Aurelia, on the other hand, is incredibly tanky when farmed. She's going to be a serious threat for them to deal with. Corki has tons of AoE and tons of burst damage. They have so much going for them. that there's not really a good answer for WinFakt right now. The only thing they have to do is sit back, farm, hope that we get to late game. And
Yeah.
we're already in late game, but, get further into late game. They are 7K gold behind right now, but they can, stall this game very easily with their clearing potential with Karthus and with Kog'Maw.
Yep, and Kog'Maw, I mean, if once these team fights, start, these full-on 5 start happening, one of the strongest abilities that Kog'Maw has is with that poke, is with that ult. And he's significantly far behind Corki in terms of that. And Corki has way superior poke there. Wall here, jumping right over the wall. Godbro trying to get in the middle of these fights. Eklord being focused down pretty quickly here. There is the death. Is his ult up? Yes, it is. He's going down, trying to get something, anything. Make it a double there. Doesn't get the one onto the Alistar. Godbro flashing away to escape, but no, the silence from Kautard. All that damage will be more than enough. Goats is in a pretty bad spot as well. 1 for 2 right now. WinFakt in a pretty bad spot. Wow, that was a 3. That was a 3 from downtown.
And actually the flash from Akamez trying to get that kill on Nocturne. Can't quite pull it off, but now we'll see if Kog'Maw,
The test.
I'm a little bit surprised that Firemane wasn't a little more aggressive, but there's the kill, and now chasing down Corki with that slow. If Firemane can get back into it, he could pick up the rest of these. Corki is definitely vulnerable here. One more ultimate, not quite enough mana.
The mana is just so ridiculous. Nice shield from Goats once again, trying to get that prediction. There can only be so much mana on a bug. Will not be able to get that kill.
I'm surprised that Kog was so defensive in that last fight for a long time.
He has to be. I mean, look how far behind he is.
But they were all at 200 HP. He was almost full health, and he was running scared when he could have picked up a number of kills. And that's why Soraka jumped in. Soraka was like, hey, come get the kills. They're sitting here waiting for you. We will see them pick up this dragon, though. Again, that'll be a nice little boon to their economy, to kind of work back into it. But the concern is going to be if Kog can, keep up the mana and win these longer fights. That's a serious issue for Megashock right now. And we saw Kassadin coming in. A couple of them were low. He wanted to pick up those kills, but he was too low himself to get in there.
Whoa.
But we do see the slow and the silence and the ignite as well. And the Akamez will go down, but there's the stun from Jackson. So we're turning it around on him. One more attack from Kog, but he has to back out of there. And now Godbro is out of position. Will have to back out. Does use a leaf strike onto Alistar. Unfortunately, he is way out of position. Will go down. So really nice job from Megashock there.
Pulverize followed up with the Aurelia stun. That was just more than enough to go ahead and take him out. But you know what? You're talking about Firemane. I can understand why he's being apprehensive. Oh, the Tess walking right into the bush, happens to find the Alistar, has to try and get away, does actually shield over and over to a ward he's placed into the Golem Pit, just trying to get away from this deadly combo. The Pulverize will keep him popped up once again. Stuns, all the burst damage from Corki coming in will not be enough. And Megashock is just, now it's reaching to the point of just sheer abuse. And it's understandable now to see, why WinFakt they're shying away, they're staying back, because that's what's going to happen. And with all the focus going down to Kog'Maw earlier in the bot lane, all those aggressive ganks and Alistar just catching him out, it's understandable, I think. But Baron should also be going down pretty quickly here as well. Megashock should be able to go ahead and secure this game from here on out.
Yeah, so they do pick up the Baron fairly easily, and now they have enough regen where they can consider poking down some of these towers. They still won't be able to fight under the turrets, so the game should hold off for a while. The big concern is Karthus with his Wall of Pain will be able to pick up the entire team with it, and then having the AoE to clear, it's going to be really difficult for them to get a good engage. So we'll see how that kind of works out for them, but WinFakt, if they can pick anyone off with that Karthus wall, they have the range from Kog'Maw. Kog'Maw now has the Infinity Edge finally done, so we'll have some nice damage. And I don't know, we'll see how that works in fights. But the issue is how far ahead Corki is from Kog'Maw. And Kog'Maw has an Infinity Edge. Well, Corki has an Infinity Edge and a Trinity Force. Yeah. So there's a big discrepancy there.
There's a huge discrepancy. That is 3K gold, 3,500 gold. To be precise, so we have difference between the AD carries here on Megashock and on WinFakt. It's scary, and WinFakt knows how bad of a spot they're in. Just playing defensive, turtling up by their own towers. There's not a whole lot to be done. And the damage coming in from Firemane, I mean, that's one of their main tools of defense here, is just to go ahead and pick away, poke away with the living artillery shots. And they're not doing comparable damage that they need to be doing. in order to keep Megashock away from them. It's minimal at this point. And Aurelia's pretty damn tanky. Nocturne's getting all the engagements and the fights he needs to be, and not to mention Alistar's there to help disrupt. There's a silence going down on to Karthus, keeping him away, and all the free damage going down onto the tower. Every single wave that's going to be coming up, and there's Aurelia going straight on in, looking for the flash, and there's the headbutt pulverize Alistar was looking for. The tower, you guys got to go back and grab that tower. Jeez. Loop back around. Go ahead and take that thing.
Yeah, and so really nice play there from Megashock. They, did get kind of low from the Karthus, but it doesn't really matter because they have enough regen. They're going to be able to take this tower now, and they don't have to worry about the push stalling. So this is going to result in an inhibitor for them. Corki actually pushing bottom, so that's kind of surprising. I mean, they do get the tower pretty easily, but they probably could have taken the mid tower. So we'll see if they continue pushing in the bot lane or not. We do have 15 seconds left for Karthus. So with this wave here, they should be able to take down this turret. There's really not a whole lot that WinFakt can do to defend this.
Yeah, and this is the safe play, slowly taking down all these objectives. They still have a minute and a half left on a Baron buff, and Cowtard trying to get aggressive here, getting some free shots. Inhibitor should be going down pretty quick as well. So that's one inhib down. They could pressure down in mid as well. That's a pretty hefty creep wave as well to try and contend with. But now Megashock's more than happy with just continuing to grab up every single objective they can. When Dragon pops up, they should be able to grab that pretty convincingly as well. Still got a minute and change. A minute and change still left on the Baron buff. There's still more. They can continue the pressure here if they really want to, but they may just go ahead and back off, buy some more stuff. Zeal being bought by Corki. Got the Glacial Shroud coming in from Alistar as well. Pretty tanky team. Megashock. It's looking pretty. Yeah, WinFakt. They need to actually just try and single out. If they can get a single solitary kill and focus down someone, separate them from the rest of the team, catch them off guard, they may have something here. But Aurelia is not the one to be focusing down. Kassadin is way too elusive. Same thing with Corki. It's gonna be rough to try and single out someone here for Megashock.
Yeah, and the big thing is they need Megashock to bring the fight to them, but they don't have the strength to match up against them.
Yeah.
And so now with that bottom inhibitor down, they can clear the waves pretty easily, but there's still going to be the concern that lane is going to push all by itself. Nocturne can split push mid very easily, and so Megashock is fine with stalling because they recognize every second they stall is another second they're winning. Corki going to be able to get some nice poke on this tower, while Karthus actually has to go mid. So we see the stun and actually engage from Jax.
Nice.
Alistar very close to going down, does have to back off. And so that's actually going to stall out this push pretty successfully. The fact that Alistar doesn't have the ultimate and is very low, so they will have to back off now.
Yeah, that was good focus. Good focus on Godbro to realize when someone was a little bit too far out. But still, though, the push still continues. They're still getting free damage on the turret. Baron buff is now gone, so Baron should be respawning in about 3 minutes or so as well. But still, though, every single time the wave comes in, and there's a Nocturne ult coming in from behind, looking to focus down on the Fire Main immediately. There's the headbutt and Pulverize coming in from Alistar, trying to keep everyone away. Godbro does have to leap to a main, try and get away. Fire Main does go down in the process. Karthus is down, throwing down the ult. Will we get anyone off of this? No, but there's Godbro to help clean up. El Muppo with the stun just in time, but the turret shot will make good, quick work of him. And Godbro now trying to be a champ, trying to be a hero, trying to focus down at least get anything else they can get from Megashock here. Akumen's getting free, taking free hits while still in pursuit of Corki. That was a good engagement for WinFakt. That was definitely something.
I would have to say so. They've been down this game. They were down 15,000 gold, and they just won a fight. Yeah, it's a pretty good engage.
Pretty good fight.
But I don't know. The big thing is that Megashock kind of forced it a little, and they were low with the Alistar instead of backing off. Kassadin did go down, and they need Kassadin to be able to jump around and pick up all these late kills. So everyone is low. They need to be able to pick those up. They were taking a lot of turret damage. They were taking a lot of damage from Karthus as well. So we'll have to see if WinFakt can use this as the stepping stone to get back into this game, because I mean Karthus is very well farmed at this point in time. Cog, even though he's behind Corki, still has great single target DPS with his W and with that Infinity Edge. So they have a lot of potential, and Jax is starting to get tanky enough where he can be that aggressive frontline bruiser that they need.
He's got the Rando's Omen, so he's got the defensive items he needs. Got the Phage, looking toward the Sheen next, so also looking for the Trinity Force build there onto Jax as well. But it's going to be a while until he finishes that thing. So I mean, you can grab the Sheen, you'll still be in a pretty good spot. Probably 400, 500 gold away from that. And there's the Shurelya's being popped, looking to try and catch Godbro, but will not be grabbing that. But still, though, it's still defense mode for WinFakt. once Baron comes up again pretty soon, there's possibly something they can do to try and challenge that. The bot inhibitor should actually be coming up pretty soon.
Yeah, it should be up in probably 30 seconds or so.
Yeah, so that'll give them some amount of room to go ahead and try and pressure Baron if they so desire, but I don't think they're really in a whole big of a spot. Corky. trying to be fancy, trying to get those dances in while he can. Yes, you got your camera time at next. You got it.
Yeah, and they recognize they're still having to defend bot, so the entire team is sitting bot. If they rush this Baron right when it spawns, it won't be an issue. And there it goes, the perfectly timed phosphorus bomb. Recognizing Arc right when it goes down, very quickly they are able to take up this Baron. And so we'll see how this next fight works with Megashock at such an advantage and now having the Baron buff once again.
39-45 can be coming back up once again, but I think I have a feeling though this game may actually be over before that time comes around, but you never know. It was a pretty good fight WinFakt had earlier, but once again, Megashock on the Baron buff is going to be a huge threat. Nice ward coverage though while you still can from WinFakt coming down in. The bot inhibitor now responds, but that's Goat's Cowtard right out in front, just trying to take out the tower, just trying to muscle it out. They may have been a little bit too aggressive there to wall of pain from Eckward, actually almost taking down Ghost completely with the extra damage. There's the Pulverize from Alistar, and the test will be the first one to go down. Nocturne ult just trying to reduce the vision, does not actually use it to go in on anybody, but there you go. Kog'Maw will be the next one to go down. Cowtard taking that one. All the damage coming in, and there's the Corky getting the kill on the Karthus. Will go down in the process, but you know what, the tower's down and hid's open. They only got the Soraka. I think this is pretty much it, and Megashock has got this game secured.
And the big thing is that even though it looked like WinFakt was maybe ahead in that fight right off the bat, WinFakt themselves, they got a little bit excited. They were like, oh, hey, we're going to win this fight. Corky and Kassadin were perfectly safe in the back line, and they were able to get out their damage. Kassadin was able to come back in, pick up a couple of kills. So really nice job from Megashock coming back. Now we have a game number 3 we'll be coming into because, Megashock able to pull it back, even up the series.
Nice job. And here's the thing, like what happened with Megashock, once again, this game I was, paying still a lot of attention specifically to the Lee Sin.
Yeah. And
again, fallen behind a little bit, but it's still like, I want to see someone not play Lee Sin, basically, because it seems like, it's kind of like the dooming sign there, because he's not getting ahead, he's not getting the farm he needed, and also, granted, he was there for the counter ganking. He was there to try and be a defensive option in all these lanes, but every lane lost. Nearly.
I think Lee Sin, he is very strong in fights, and I think maybe you're underestimating a little bit how much he brings to the table, and he's not quite as much like shock and awe as someone like Nocturne or as Nautilus or Alistar in the jungle. He's not quite the same late game carry as someone like Nocturne. But his shield and his attack speed slow are very strong. He does provide a lot of disruption. And so there's a lot of fights where Lee Sin, he can win these fights for you. And the shield in particular is just devastating when you can shield someone like a Jax. And so being able to do that in a fight, he does bring a lot of versatility. I don't know, so he is just an all-around kind of strong champion.
Yeah. So it looks like we're going to be heading on in. Game number 3, whoever wins this next one, going to be moving on to grand finals for qualifier number 2. May very well see them at IPL5. So we'll be going to a quick break, and we shall be back in just a moment. Game 3, semifinals, Megashock versus WinFakt. We will be right back. See you soon.